Can I still apply for VAWA in 2025? Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Attorney Ebony Anaforo. I'm an immigration attorney located in New Jersey, and I represent clients in all 50 states with U.S. immigration law. Today I want to talk about VAWA and whether or not you can still apply for VAWA in 2025. So the Violence Against Women Act, VAWA, it has been a very critical protection for survivors of domestic violence, allowing certain non-citizens to apply for immigration benefits without sponsorship or knowledge of their abusive U.S. citizen or lawful permanent resident spouse, parent, or even their child. Now, with the changes in immigration policies under different administrations, many individuals are concerned about whether they can still apply for VAWA in 2025. And today I want to give you a thorough breakdown about VAWA, the application process, some recent changes in immigration policies, and I also want to answer some frequently asked questions that you might have about this benefit. So what is VAWA? So VAWA is a provision in U.S. immigration law that allows survivors of domestic violence, extreme cruelty, or abuse to self-petition for a green card. And this means that eligible applicants do not need their abusive spouse, parent, or child to sponsor them, providing a way to seek safety and independence. So let's talk about who is eligible. So to qualify for VAWA, applicants must meet specific criteria. You may apply if you are or you were married to a U.S. citizen or legal permanent resident who was abusive. You may apply if you are the abused child who's under 21 of a U.S. citizen or legal permanent resident. You may apply if you are the parent of an abusive U.S. citizen's son or daughter who is 21 or older. Applicants must demonstrate that they have good moral character. You must provide evidence of the abuse that you suffered, and you must have lived with your abuser at some point in the relationship. So is VAWA still available in 2025? And the answer is yes. As of 2025, VAWA remains available to eligible applicants. Although immigration policies and enforcement priorities may shift depending on the administration, the underlying law allowing VAWA self-petitions has not changed. VAWA protections are part of a long-standing U.S. immigration law and are not subject to expiration unless Congress enacts new legislation to do that. So that is something you want to consider. While the core provisions of VAWA remain intact, some recent immigration policy changes have affected how cases are being processed. So we have seen an increased scrutiny on fraudulent claims. So USCIS has been more diligent in reviewing petitions for fraudulent claims, making it essential for applicants to provide strong evidence. Processing times. Due to backlogs in immigration cases, VAWA self-petitions may experience longer processing times. At the time that I am recording this video, the processing times on average are about 41 months for VAWA. Public charge rule. VAWA applicants are exempt from public charge inadmissibility, meaning access to public benefits will not negatively impact their case. So that's still the same, okay? And then new protections for immigrant survivors. Some state and federal initiatives have been introduced to further support VAWA applicants, so this is a good thing, including improved protections for survivors who are facing deportation. Now, we've worked with clients who have current pending removal orders, or I should say, we've worked with clients who are currently in deportation proceedings, and we've also helped clients with prior removal orders get VAWA and also get a green card and dismiss their old removal case from court. So we're able to help you do that. So even if you have an old deportation case, you do not feel that you cannot apply for VAWA, there is a way for us to reopen that old case and ask the court to dismiss it based off of your VAWA approval. So I want to answer some frequently asked questions that I get regarding VAWA. And if you have any questions specifically about VAWA, you can leave me a comment, you can send me a message, or if you want to talk about your specific case in detailed one-on-one, you want to give me a call and we can set up a consultation to do that. So the first question is, how long does it take to get a decision on a VAWA self-petition? So I mentioned before that processing times do vary, but as of now, once upon a time it would take a year and a half or even less, 2 years, but as of now they're taking on average about 41 months to get an approval on your VAWA. And then once you get approved for the VAWA, the next step will be the I-485, the green card portion of the petition. Question number 2, can I apply for VAWA if my spouse has already filed a petition for me? Yes. If your spouse previously filed a family petition for you, the form I-130, but the relationship became abusive, then you can file a VAWA self-petition immediately. You do not have to wait for that petition to be approved, even if the petition was approved or denied. If there was abuse in the relationship, you are still eligible to apply for VAWA. What happens if my VAWA petition is denied? So if your VAWA petition is denied, you may have the option to appeal. You can reapply with stronger evidence, or you can work with an attorney to explore other forms of relief, such as a U visa. Sometimes if the relationship was very abusive and a police report was filed during that relationship, potential clients or individuals could possibly be eligible for a U visa. The U visa, if you can show that you are cooperating with law enforcement, you filed a police report, and they can certify that you've been cooperative, then you might qualify for a U visa. But in a lot of cases, maybe it just might require you submitting a stronger application with stronger evidence. Next question, do I need a police report to apply for VAWA? So no. While police reports can be really strong evidence, it can support your case, that is not required under the law. You can submit other evidence. You can submit medical records, therapist reports, affidavits from family members and friends who have been a witness to the abuse. And we always like to emphasize that your declaration is one of the strongest pieces of evidence that you will submit with your VAWA application, because it is your statement and it's going to detail exactly what you went through during the abusive situation. Okay. Next question. So can I apply for VAWA if I am undocumented? So by undocumented, I'm assuming that you entered, you don't have any status, and you entered without inspection. So we call that EWI. Even if you entered with a visa, right? Yes. VAWA applicants, they don't have to have legal status at the time of filing. In fact, all VAWA applicants do not have status, because the whole purpose of applying for VAWA is to get legal status and to self-petition. So even if you came in with a visa and you had permission when you entered, or you came in without permission and you crossed the border, if you qualify for VAWA, then you can still apply. There's no limitations on that aspect, right? So they will, in certain cases, they will forgive that. Now, if there are situations where you came in and then you left and came back, then you want to speak with an attorney. You want to get your case evaluated, because you want to make sure that you have not put yourself in a situation where you have a permanent bar. And there are some ways that you might be able to have that forgiven, but you want to speak with an immigration attorney about your case. And the last question that I'm going to answer for today is, can men apply for VAWA? And the answer is yes. VAWA protections apply to all genders. Although VAWA stands for Violence Against Women Act, men are absolutely allowed to apply for VAWA. This benefit does not discriminate against men or women. In fact, we work with a lot of male victims who find themselves in abusive situations. A lot of times, out of shame and pride, they don't come forward and take advantage of this benefit, and they tend to find themselves suffering in silence. So VAWA has a great way for men who are victims to kind of take control back and take their legal status back into their own hands and under their own control. So it is important for men to know that, yes, you can absolutely apply for VAWA. So what are my final thoughts? My final thoughts is that VAWA remains, till now, still a critical path to safety and legal status for survivors of abuse in 2025. So despite the political changes that we see happening, the program is still available, and USCIS continues to process applications. So if you are considering applying for VAWA, it's important to gather strong evidence and, if possible, seek legal assistance to navigate the process effectively. If you have any concerns or you need legal assistance with your VAWA case, you can contact an experienced immigration attorney. I'm happy to help you. If you know anybody that's interested in this information, please share. And also, if you enjoyed the content that I provided today, like it, subscribe to the channel so you can stay up to date anytime I post a video about immigration. And thank you for joining me, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.